Hi, my name's Nick and I'm from Farmacist and I'm the Research and Extension Officer responsible for this lovely project, the CRC-NA Developing an Oilseeds project for Northern Australia. So what we're doing is investigating the potential for oilseed crops in Northern Australia, and we've had a real focus upon their role or their options within a cane farming system. So what we're doing is looking at different types of oilseed crops. In this particular trial we've got Carinata, Safflower, and behind the camera some Indian mustard, and these were specifically selected for the 2021 winter trials based upon previous work conducted by Tony Matchett from Savannah Ag, as these varieties had shown in previous trial work to have the most promise for the winter trial period. One, because they yield; two, there's a market or a potential market for them; and three, they can have successive benefits for the next rotation of sugarcane. For example, your Safflower here, a very long deep taproot, can break up hard pans. Carinatas and your Indian mustards, which are from the Brassicaceae family, are noted to be quite good biofumigants and therefore reduce pathogens within the soil, all benefiting the successive cane crop. These crops can provide a good income for cane farmers as well. Some of the prices we've been quoted are actually quite promising. So in this site at the moment for the winter trial site, it's a replicated randomised trial based loosely upon the CSIRO AppSim processes, and what we're specifically looking at here is the variables that will impact upon yield outcomes. We've also got a site in Cairns and a site in the Burdekin, and there's obviously the site here in Mackay, and we're monitoring soil moisture down to depth of 1 metre. We're monitoring rainfall, temperature, and the nutrient status within the soil profile down to 1 metre in depth, and also to soil moisture. And comparing the outcomes across the 3 sites, we should get a good handle upon the different variables that are impacting upon yield outcomes, and therefore provide some good recommendations to growers in the future as to how they can maximise crop outcomes. Results to date, we haven't really taken any specific results to date, nor have we analysed any of the weather station data, but what we're observing is the impact of nitrogen management, or I feel nitrogen management, combined with row spacing and bed spacing upon variables such as lodging and growth. So where we've got a high nitrogen content within the soils, we're seeing a very tall, lanky growth, which is then making it prone to lodging. Row spacing or bed spacing, traditionally a lot of these things are grown in dry land situations, and so where you find them with a number of rows side by side, they can support each other. Whereas because we're operating on a cane farming system here at the moment, there's gaps between the beds. This is actually on a 1.6 metre row spacing, and because of that, the plants aren't supporting each other. So that's something that's going to need to be investigated via some serious data analysis once we've conducted the harvest. So on a weekly basis, we're coming through and conducting observations based upon the plant's stage of growth, and we're also conducting biomass sampling prior to harvest when the crop is nearly at complete dry down point, so we can conduct a harvest index looking at seed versus dry biomass. And then obviously there's going to be harvest, so we'll get the true yield outcomes as well. So looking at the variables of crops growth over the different stages of the crop, combined with soil moisture, the weather, and also to the harvest index cuts as well as harvest, we should be able to come up with a good idea as to how to maximise crop outcomes for growers. So why should growers be interested? Well, these sorts of crops do provide a good option for the winter fallow period. Oilseeds themselves provide options for different stages of the sugarcane fallow period. It's an alternative source of income. For example, over the last few years, many growers have seriously got into soybeans. A lot of people have invested in the infrastructure required to grow. They've bought seeding equipment, look after the crop, in-crop. For example, they've bought shielded sprayers to do in-crop weed control and harvest. A lot of growers have spent a lot of money upon headers to be able to harvest the crop in a timely manner. So if the bottom falls out of the soybean market, what can growers do within the fallow periods? And what we're conducting here at the moment will give good options for growers to successfully choose a suitable crop within the fallow period of the sugarcane growing system.